Hello curious minds. Today we are diving into one of the core pillars of object-oriented programming, and that is abstraction. It's all about hiding complex things and only showing what's necessary. Let's understand what abstraction really means in Python, why it's useful, and how to implement it step by step. First of all, what is abstraction in object-oriented programming? Abstraction is the process of hiding internal implementation details and showing only essential features. A real-life example would be when you use a mobile phone, you just press buttons to call. You don't need to know how signals are transferred or what's happening inside the hardware. That's abstraction. Hide the complex parts, show only what matters to the user. Now, why abstraction? Why abstraction? It has some benefits. First of all, clean and simple interface. For example, users interact with only the necessary parts. Then it hides unnecessary complexity. So it helps you to hide internal logics and messy details. Then it improves security. So basically it prevents users from accidentally modifying sensitive logic. And lastly, it helps write easier to maintain code. You can change the inner code without affecting users of the class. Now there are some tools in Python for abstraction. So abstraction is implemented using abstract base classes and ABC module, which stands for abstract class base module. So let's see how we work with abstraction. First of all, we import ABC and abstract method. For that we write from ABC import ABC and abstract method. So after importing these, we write a class, for example animal. Inside parentheses let's write ABC, then at the rate abstract method, and let's create a method here, def make underscore sound, and just write here pass to say that do nothing. Now this ABC is a built-in base class for abstraction. So it's built inside Python. When you installed Python, this base class got installed. So again, ABC is a built-in base class for abstraction. And this at the rate abstract method means any class that inherits from animal must define the make sound method. Now the term inheritance is another topic of object-oriented programming. We'll cover that, but let's first understand how we work with abstract methods. So as this animal class, we can inherit the attributes and the methods of this class inside another class. So it is like you are a child and you are getting the properties of your parents. For example, we have a class called dog. Look carefully, it's not an object, it's a class, and we can give here animal. And if I hover on the yellow squiggly line, it says class dog must implement all abstract methods. Because we are defining, as this animal class has this abstract method, we must define that abstract method inside the child class as well. So here I can write def make underscore sound, and I can write print woof. Okay, now again we can create another class called cat, and we can give here animal. Now again, if I hover on this squiggly line, it says class cat must implement all abstract methods, because we are inheriting attributes and methods from animal, and this animal class holds an abstract method. So as abstract method is there, and as we are inheriting attributes and methods from animal, we have to write that methods, means the abstract methods, in the cat class as well. We have to write the make sound method again here. So make sound, and here just write print meow. Okay, now let's create some objects. So if I write here d equal, and let's use the dog class. After using dog class, we can write d dot make sound. Now if I run the code, it throws error because we haven't used the colon here. Okay, Now again, if I run the code, it prints off because this dog class has this make sound method, and which tells to print off. We can have another object called c equal, then let's use the cat class, and we can just write c dot make sound. Now if I run the code, it will print meow. So here both the dog class and cat class inherit from animal. They are forced to implement make sound method, otherwise this is just gonna throw error. For example, like this cat class, if you create another class called bird, which also inherits from animal class, and if you don't write the make sound method, which is there as an abstract method, if you don't write that and just do nothing here, or just write another methods and try to create an object using the bird class, so b equal bird, and if you try to run the code, it will throw error saying can't instantiate abstract class bird without implementation for abstract method make sound. So you have to write the abstract method which is defined in this class, because you are inheriting from this class. Now let's see a real world example, and let's first import abc and abstract method, and let's try to create a payment system. So first of all, we have a class called payment processor. Inside this class we pass abc, which we imported, and in this class we're gonna have an abstract method. Let's define that method. The method name is pay, and we expect the amount parameter, and let's tell this to do nothing. So this pass is just null operation. After that, let's create a class called debit card payment, and this inherits from the payment processor, so payment processor class. Now as soon as I write the payment processor class, Python understand that this class should inherit values, means attributes and methods, from this class. So as this class has an abstract method, Python immediately tell us to define that abstract method in this class as well, otherwise it will throw error. So we write def pay, then we have to have those two parameters as well, self and amount, and here we can just write print paying amount dollar via debit card. After that, let's define another class called credit card payment, and here as well we want that it should inherit from payment processor class, so we have to write that abstract method here as well. So we write def pay amount, and here let me copy this print statement and paste that here, and we say here paying amount via credit card. Now let's create a function outside of classes. This function is not inside any classes, so let's write def make underscore payment, and here we take parameter, for example payment underscore method, then the amount as well. Okay, and here we can write payment method dot pay, and we pass amount. Okay, so this function is not inside any class, keep that in mind. So we have these three classes. So first of all, we have this payment processor class, which has this pay method, which is an abstract method. So we have to define that method inside the child classes, which are gonna inherit these methods from this class, which is payment processor class. So we define the pay method here and here as well, and we have this global function. Now we can create some objects with those classes. So first of all, let's create an object called p1 equal debit card payment, then we have p2 equal credit card payment. Okay, and here we can just write make payment. We can call this function actually, and here we can pass p1, means the object created using this class. So we are passing p1 for the parameter payment method, and the amount is 500. Then again, let's call this function make payment. Now this time let's pass P2 object which is created from this credit card payment class. So let's pass P2 as the value for this payment method. Then amount would be 800. Now if I run the code, you'll see it prints paying $500 via debit card, and again it prints paying $800 via credit card. So this payment processor is abstract and can't be used directly. All child classes, means these classes, must define the pay method, means this abstract method. As you can see, we defined this pay method in all the child classes. The function make payment works with any object that follows the abstract class. Now it's Q&A time. So some beginner doubts are, they ask that why not just use normal classes? So the answer is abstraction forces structure and hides unnecessary details. Then again, you can ask, can we have both abstract and normal methods in a class? Yes, abstract classes can have both. Here we can have abstract methods and we can have other methods as well. So we can define other methods without making them abstract method like this. So we can have both. Then you can ask, can we create objects of an abstract class? No, the answer is no. Abstract classes are only meant to be inherited. So when we create an abstract class, we just pass them in child classes to inherit attributes and methods. We can't create object with them. So if I try to create an object P3 equal, and the class name is payment processor, if I try to use that class to create an object, this will throw error. So for example, if I write here make payment and an amount, for example 200, and try to run the code, you'll see it throws error. It says can't instantiate abstract class payment processor without implementation of abstract method. So we can't create object with abstract classes. We just use abstract classes in the child class to inherit. And you can ask, is abstraction useful in small projects? The answer would be not always necessary, but it teaches good coding practices. Okay, so that's all we have in the abstraction part. Let me run the code to remove the error. I hope you understood all the topics discussed in the video. In the next video, we're going to discuss about encapsulation, which is another important topic in object-oriented programming.